Hey everyone, it's Angie at the Well-Oiled Life. I cannot believe I'm like live publicly with no makeup, but here we go. Today we're gonna do a makeup tutorial on Young Living's new Savvy Minerals. You guys, I love this makeup. I have to tell you why I'm so excited about it. Number one, I have probably been reading Allure magazine since I was 14 years old. Now that stopped after I had kids, but I mean I had a good long run there of probably, oh gosh, 15 years where I read that, maybe not that long, but at least 10 years where I would read that every day. I was like all about makeup tips. I love makeup. I used to have a whole makeup junkyard because like I don't shop for clothes, I don't shop for shoes, but I shop for makeup. Like it was just kind of my thing. Like makeup is my love language. So, fast forward when I had kids and learned about all the garbage in our environment, it was sad because like Sephora and Ulta, those used to be my favorite stores. I would just go in and I could spend lots of time in there just playing around and trying colors on. But once I found out how much garbage is in our cosmetics, that really was no longer fun for me because there were only very specific brands I would have to stick to, and even those weren't super clean. So while we're waiting for people to hop on, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of background about the makeup industry, and then we're going to jump right into getting ready, and we're doing a full tutorial. So the makeup industry is not regulated at all. It's all like self-policing. Anytime you see the word natural on the label, it really doesn't mean anything. Nobody's really regulating what that means. Anyone can use that term. So even the labels are misleading when we go to buy stuff. This is the crazy thing. In cosmetics in like the European Union, they have 1,400 chemicals that are banned from their cosmetics. In the US, we only have 11 that are banned, which just seems crazy. So you really have to be careful what you put on your skin. We know beyond the shadow of a doubt that it gets into our body. We've done testing. We see that these chemicals get into our bloodstream after we wear them, and when we stop wearing them, they get out of our bloodstream. So we know that our body is absorbing what we put on our skin. The crazy thing is 1938 was the last time a major cosmetic law was passed. So we really do have a problem in the cosmetics industry. I've got a daughter. I know a lot of you guys are moms and you have kids, and you know, a lot of the things in our makeups disrupt things like hormones. They can lead to reproductive toxicity, and there's just all kinds of things. So when Young Living came out with makeup, you guys, I was so excited. And then I was terrified thinking, oh gosh, I love my oils, but what if I don't love this makeup? Like makeup's my thing, I would be so bummed. So I just took it really slow and got a few things at the beginning, and you guys, I love it. So I feel like that's saying something coming from a makeup junkie like myself. So we are gonna go today through like my typical routine. I'm sure this video will be long because I'm talking. I'll try to make it as short as possible, but what I'm saying is it usually only takes me between like definitely less than 10 minutes to get on my makeup a day. So yes, to get on my makeup during the day. So I'm gonna go as quick as I can, but I'm chatty. If you guys have questions at any time, please type them below and I will do my best to answer them for you. Okay, so the first thing we do is you prep your face. So you wash and moisturize your face just like you normally do, and also moisturize your lips because that will help anything you put on your lips to go on really smooth too. The next thing you want to make sure that you're doing is selecting the right foundation color. So if you don't know yet, there are cool colors, Young Living's in their line. There are cool colors, there are warm colors, and there are dark colors. So the cools are if you have cooler undertones, like pinker undertones. The warms are if you have more yellow undertones. And then the darks are if you kind of have neutral undertones. And honestly, I think those are for more like olive and darker skin tones, the darks are. And then within the cool, warm, and dark, there's a 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the lightest. And then the upper numbers, the cool and warm go to 1, 2, 3, and the dark goes up to 4. So, and they get darker as the number goes on. So, I had read this somewhere. I don't know if it was Young Living site or somebody else's site, but most like average Caucasian skin like myself is a 2. So then you have to decide, are you a warm 2 or a cool 2? And then if you know that you're like lighter or fairer than the average person, you would go down to a 1. And if you are typically a little bit warmer, or not warmer, but a little bit darker than the average like Caucasian skin tone, then you would go up to 3. And then if you fall into the darker skin tones, if you have olive skin or darker skin, that's when you would go into the darks. So for me, I actually fit perfectly in a warm 2. One of the ways to tell your undertones are look at the veins in your arm and in your skin on your wrist and see if they are they bluer? Because if they're bluer, then you are likely more of a cool color. And if they are greener, you're likely more of a warm. Now, I will say my veins are probably a little bit bluer than they are greener, which would, maybe make me think I was a cool. But I definitely have more of a yellow undertone, so just take into consideration these things. None of them are the end-all be-all. Also, I think a good way to tell is if you get in the sun and typically tan well, you're probably a warm, and if you typically burn right away, you're probably a cool. So that's some help on how to determine your shade. If you need more help or questions, type them below, and like I said, I'll do my best to answer them. So here's what I do when I'm doing my foundation. Now, these are all made to you kind of pour them out in your lid. They're all powders, but what I do, and it's just so I can clean it off and make it I didn't obviously this morning, but I just use a lid. I know that seems silly, and I do all my blending and brushing from this lid. So I'm going to take my warm 2 powder and just shake out a decent amount of powder. And then I'm just gonna take my brush. Now, there are areas that need more coverage than others on my face. Oh, let me say this first too. If you guys have concealer or use concealer, I would use it before you put on your foundation. So you can either make a paste, which I've seen people do that with just some water or the misting spray in their foundation, make a paste with a brush and put it on. I have a concealer that I like. It is a clean concealer. It's by RMS Beauty, and it is called Uncover Up. So I just have some pretty dark circles under my eyes. So before I get to my foundation, I'm going to put that on just some areas that need a little bit more attention. So that includes under my eyes. I am not worried about making it perfect because I'm going to go over it with a layer of the foundation. And then kind of around my lips just to make sure those stay nice and defined for when I go to do my lips. Okay, so we have that on. And then I kind of like to do, so once this is in here, you kind of dip it in and tap it off to the side. Get some of that so it doesn't fluff all over your face. And for me, I have areas that need more coverage than others. So first I'm gonna just do kind of a general layer of light foundation. And some of you probably have really nice skin, and you can stop right there. I need a little more coverage on some areas. So what I'm gonna do next, you can already see that that's even things out just a little bit. And then on some areas, like my nose is red, I need to cover my eyes a little more. I've got some splotchiness down here. I do have the Young Living brushes, and their foundation brush is really nice. Now, when I went to order all my stuff last month, they were out of the misting spray, so I actually have a rose water spray I'm gonna use. This is for if you want more coverage. It will help turn this powder foundation, I'm not gonna say into a liquid because it doesn't, but it will pick up more product and deposit it on your skin, and you can get more coverage. So I'm gonna spray this 3 times on my brush, and I'm gonna come back into the foundation that I've poured out, and I'm gonna hit these areas that need a little bit more coverage, okay? I have a mirror down here, that's where I'm looking, you guys, and I know the lighting isn't great, Sorry. I should maybe close that window in front of me. It's getting all bright up there, isn't it? Okay. You guys doing okay so far? Any questions? Okay. All right, now what you need to realize is once you've put your foundation on your skin, it's kind of whited it out, and you've kind of taken away some of the contrast. And so that's where we need to go back. And so you could look kind of flat if you're looking at yourself from the front. You can look a little flat, and this is where bronzer and blush come in. So let me talk to you just a second about the concept. So any of the lighter areas on your face are gonna pop out, and any of the darker areas are gonna recede. So that's how we're gonna play with color a little bit on our face to just look a little more three-dimensional and not so flat, because like I said, once you've evened everything out, you could look a little bit flat, and that's not what we're going for, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get out, I will tell you, so Young Living has two bronzers. The Summer Loved is the darker shade, and the lighter shade is called Crowned All Over. And I really do like the Summer Love, but I gotta tell you what I've been liking even more than that for a bronzer is I've gotten a darker foundation shade. So this is dark number 3. I'll tell you why I like this. I really like my bronzer to be more matte. Both of Young Living's bronzers have a little bit of sheen in it, which is fine. If I was using these in the summer, I would probably, I'm sure I will wear these. And I even do wear these even now, but I'm really liking this darker foundation for right now. And it's because I need a little bit more bronzer this time of year, and I don't want to have too much shiny on my face, if that makes sense. In the summer where I won't need as much bronzer, I'm totally going to be using this. And like I said, even now, like for days I just want something light, I'll be using that too. So I've just shaken out you can tell, a very small amount of your darker shade. So again, you either use a bronzer or you can use a darker foundation like I have. And then I'm gonna get, I really like Young Living's, this is their blush brush. So their brushes come in a 5-brush set. You don't pick and choose them, you just order the whole combo, okay? And I really do like these brushes. Okay, so I'm just gonna lightly take a little bit of this bronzer here, and now we gotta add in a little bit of that contrast that we took out when we whitened our face out, okay? So your bronzer is gonna go pretty much right kind of along / under your cheekbones, not down here. You don't want bronzer down here, but it's gonna kind of go right here. You can kind of find this line if you suck in and kind of go right above that, okay? So part of me almost wants to do just part of my face, but like one side. So you can see already that that's giving me like the appearance of a cheekbone, even though I don't have any, all right? And then, so I'll go ahead, I'll just do all of this. And you can see, you guys, my skin's not perfectly even. I could put on more foundation. It actually looks worse on camera than it does in real life. It's really accentuated on the camera, but, so you're gonna just kind of put your bronzer there just to add a little bit of dimension to your face. You're adding back in those shadows that we took out when we did the foundation and covered everything up, okay? So I've got my bronzer here, and I'm also gonna do kind of up, you're kind of thinking, again, this dark recedes, so I'm just kind of, there's all kinds of contouring and stuff, tutorials on YouTube that, you know, you can kind of go with your face shape and whatever. You guys, this lighting is so weird right here. I'm sorry, I can't quite get it right. Anyways, gonna dust this up here, a little bit of my chin, and then kind of where the sun would naturally hit, okay? It's kind of on those places. Now I know this looks crazy. Can you see this? I don't know what's looking better or worse with the lighting here. But you can see that I've added a little bit of dimension back into my face. And then I'm gonna just kind of buff this out so it's not super harsh. Okay, I don't want any lines. I don't want it to like look like I got a bunch of cakey makeup on, because I don't. And you guys, in real life, this looks so nice on your skin. It's like, it looks really nice and I love it. Okay, so now I've got that, and then I'm gonna grab a blush. So Young Living currently has 3 blushes. They are Smashing, which is Smashing, and I do believe you're blushing. I don't know if you could see that, but they're very, very similar in color. I do believe your blushing is probably a little bit more on the peach side, and Smashing is a little more on like a more of a blue pink, where this is maybe more of a peach pink, and this has more shimmer in it. I do believe you're blushing, where Smashing is kind of more iridescent. And I thought I really like them both, but I really, really like this Smashing color. So, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just tapping some out. Here's a tip, you guys. Rather than pulling these all the way off, I've just pulled them halfway off, and that way they don't spill all over my makeup bag. So that's kind of one of my little tips for you. Kind of helps things to stay a little bit nicer in your bag. Now, I'll tell you this too, is so you can just do the same thing. You're just gonna kind of dip, tap, and then your blush then goes right on the apples of your cheeks. So if you smile, it's gonna go right there, all right? And you can see this blush just kind of adds a little bit more of a flush, and you can see that there's a little bit of iridescence to it, but I promise you it's not shiny, okay? And even if it looks shiny right when you put it on, give it like a good 20 minutes and it will mellow into your skin and just leave the prettiest like sheen to it. Like it does not, I don't know, it's just really nice. Now, some days, and it just depends on the day, some days if I feel like I need a little bit more color to my blush, I will spray my brush just so it will pick up a little bit more powder and just be a little bit darker, like, you know, darker pink. So I spray this. So that's another tip. So again, I just kind of go back and just brush this out, just blend it in again so I don't have any like crazy harsh lines or anything. And then at this point, I do have a little pimple I have to cover up, you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna get my concealer. I had eaten chocolate last week, and that's just like a surefire way for me to get a pimple. So this one's almost gone, but I don't wanna be looking at it, you know? Okay, how are we doing so far, you guys? Any questions? You guys are quiet. Okay, so that is like, that's how I do, let me just say, that's how I do my skin. Now let's go to my eyes. And you know, I kind of do things in different orders. I guess typically if I was doing this by myself, I would have had my eyes on already, but I'm gonna do them now. So I have to tell you about this product because it's my favorite and I've probably used it for, I can't tell you how many years, but it is called Tarte Clean Slate 360 Degree Creaseless. This will make your eyeshadow stay on all day long. This is one of my most favorite products. As a matter of fact, someone told me they thought it was going out of stock and my heart started beating a little bit faster and I immediately went on and bought some more. So I love this. So anyways, this goes all the way down to your lash line and all the way up to your eyebrow, up on your brow bone. And again, this just really makes your eyeshadow stick. And this product, the ingredients are pretty clean. So I don't feel bad about using it because the ingredients are clean. Okay, so that is my first step to my eyeshadow. Then, when you do your eyes, we're gonna use the same principle of receding and kind of coming out. So, I only have 2 of Young Living's eyeshadows because the rest were out of stock when I went to order. So I can't wait to get the rest of them in September. But this color is called Best Kept Secret, and it is a matte, flesh colored shadow. So when you're doing your shadow, you're gonna want a light shadow and a darker shadow. Your light, again, to make everything kind of come forward, and your darker to make it all recede. So this is such a good light shadow. There's a couple more that have shimmer. I like this one because it's matte. Like I said, I prefer matte products to shiny ones typically. But again, I'm just tapping out the smallest amount, getting my brush, and I'm just gonna do my whole eyelid with this light color. This kind of evens out your eyes. If you have veins or discoloration or anything, it's almost like a concealer on your eyelids. Do you guys have any of the eyeshadows that you like? Somebody comment. You guys are so quiet. Okay. Or lipsticks, or what are the Savvy products are you loving? I want to know, okay? All right, so I know you can't probably tell a huge difference, but this has evened out my eyes, and it's a really good color for a lot of different skin tones. Then I'm going to go in with a dark shadow. Now, because I do not have any of Young Living's dark shadows, I think Determined, Diffused, and there's one more dark one. If you guys know it, type it below so I know, but I can't remember what the other one is. I'm just going to use a dark shadow that I currently have, but you're going to do the same thing. I cannot wait until I get Young Living's dark shadows because they blend really nice and they feel really nice, but I just don't have them. So I'm going to go in with my dark shadow, and I actually have a little bit. You don't have to have all these brushes. Like I said, you guys, I'm just makeup obsessed, so I do have a bunch of brushes, but my favorite one is shaped like this. Can you see? And I just go right in this crease. So I don't really have a crease. Some of you guys have really good creases in your eyes. I have to make one. You can kind of see where the dark is. I just don't have a good crease. But you're just going to accentuate that, and it will really help your eyes start to pop if you get in there. Can you see the difference? Get in there with a little bit darker of a shadow. And again, the dark color is making it recede back a little bit. Okay, and so I'm gonna do this other side too. Oh yay, you guys are talking to me. Tiffany, I just got mine and can't wait to try them. I can't wait to get the veil. Yes, we're gonna talk about the veil in a minute. I love the veil. I love how soft my face feels when I use Have Minerals. Looking forward to getting more of the matte products. I feel, yes, everything that was in stock was shimmery. Okay, so Lindsay, I am so right there with you because I am not a shimmer person either. I will say I have been pleasantly surprised when I put the shimmer stuff on, it's not like disco. I was I'm not going to a disco. I don't want shimmer all over my face. And it's after you have it on, I don't even know if you guys can see this, but I mean, it might look a little sheeny. And really from a distance, that's what kind of makes you look healthy and not super flat and powdery. But up close, it does not look makeup-y, which is so nice. So I will encourage you, even if there is some of the products that have shimmer are not, don't look sparkly on your skin. And that's what I was mostly concerned about. Okay, so now that I've got my eyeshadow on, the next thing I'm going to do is do eyeliner. Now, again, this was out of stock. It's the Determined. They have Determined and Jet Setter. So the Determined is a dark brown and Jet Setter is a black, and they're both powders just like the eyeshadows and everything are. And I don't have either of those right now because they are out of stock, but I will show you exactly how I plan to use them once I get them. And for me, I'm going to use Determined. I just think brown looks softer than black. I'm not so harsh. So here is how you do the eyeliner. This is how I do it. Let me put it that way. I wet my brush, so you could, honestly, sometimes if I'm at my sink, I will just run it under the faucet, and you can see this is just, oops, can you see that? It's just a little liner brush. And so I'm gonna wet this, and then I'm gonna dip it in the shadow, so you're just gonna shake it out, and you're gonna get your shadow on it, and you're literally gonna go right over the top. And you're just gonna kind of do little kind of dabs and strokes in here, and so you're not gonna like do one of these things. You're just kind of dabbing it in, and you could see that it is just accenting the top of your eyelid. I'm going all the way to the corner, okay, and then all the way out. And if you're gonna wing it a little bit, you're gonna wing it up and out, because especially as we get older, our eyes start, you know, so kind of up and out is what makes you look a little bit more awake and rested. So can you guys see that there? Just went up and out with my liner, okay? And then I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side. I have a mirror below. I know I've said that, but that's what I'm looking at. Because unfortunately the Facebook Live camera doesn't show me a whole lot. And I just like, the look of powder liner is nice. It is just really soft and it's not harsh. And I would encourage you, like I said, the older we get, it's the top of your eyes that should be lined, not necessarily the bottom. When you start lining the bottom of your eyes, everybody is different, and so it looks better on some people than others, but it can start like accenting like wrinkles. It can start making your eyes look just kind of smaller and harsh. If you're gonna do liner underneath, just make sure it's soft. That's what my tip to you would be, like no black pencil. You know what I mean? That is, you can do that if that's the look you like. It's just, you know, when you have just kind of softer, subtle shadow, it just looks a little bit more feminine. And so that's what I like. And then what I do is I don't do the whole under. I just take whatever's left on the brush and just kind of do this outer corner. Can you see that? Just kind of blend it a little bit. So that is it for the eyes. Now let's talk about our eyebrows. So I've got all these little patchy over plucking and all kinds of stuff going on in my eyebrows. So here is the thing with eyebrows. I never, ever, ever used to do anything with mine because every time I tried, I felt like I looked like super harsh and like manly. You know, they were like man eyebrows. And I was like, oh gosh, that is not a good look. So what I do now, what I finally figured out is I was using too dark of color. And so I, like for instance, before I got the Savvy Minerals, the pencil that I was using was called taupe. So, I mean, clearly I've got darker hair. It's not even like I have blonde hair, but taupe is the lightest color. And that finally I was like, oh, this is what I need, a lighter color. So if you've tried to do your brows before and they've looked super harsh, it may be because the color was a little bit too dark. So try stepping it down. I will tell you, that is one of the uses of the multitasker, which again, I cannot confirm for myself because I don't have it yet. But what I have been doing is going back to this dark 3 foundation, which I'm guessing that the multitasker is a little darker than this. But I take my angled brush, okay, and I'm just dipping it, not even wet. I'm just, you know, I just poured a little bit in there, dip it in there, and literally, you just are making little strokes. Now, if you have a pencil that you're using, you're gonna like mimic hairs, right? So you're gonna just draw tiny little hairs just like they would grow, and that's the most natural look. It's not like you're gonna take your pencil and draw it on, or take your eyeshadow and just like, whoo! You're gonna kind of do these tiny little pat strokes, kind of like we did the eyeliner, all the way through your eyebrows. Okay? And so now you could see that we got much more definition in that one than this other guy that has a big hole, because I used to pluck way too far in. And one day I was like, oh my gosh, my eyebrow is like, I don't know. Anyway, so I had to let it grow out, but it still has a hole in it. So now I gotta fill it in. Okay? And then you gotta kind of brush them out a little bit. If you have like a little spoolie brush or something like that. Now this color is weird, you guys. It kind of looks red on the thing, but I promise you in real life, it doesn't look like that. Hopefully you could tell, but maybe not. I don't know, you guys might be like, you look weird, but I promise it's not. You gotta mess around with color a little bit, and again, the color on this, on my Facebook Live is weird, but hopefully you can tell. Okay, at this point, again, I know this has taken me a little while, but it's only because I'm chatting and talking. It like does not take me near this long when I'm doing this in the morning. All right, now I'll tell you about the veil. I was not sure I was gonna like the veil because it is quite sparkly. Where'd it go? I mean, it's called Diamond Dust, okay? So if you look, oh gosh, it's so white. You probably can't see that, can you? It is sparkly. When you open it up, it is sparkly. And so the first time I saw somebody use this, they were like, you take the smallest amount. So if you are using the cap, you're gonna almost like pour it in, okay? And then pour it right back out and use the leftover to do what you're doing. So you're using literally a very, very small amount. Now you could, oh gosh, I'm making a mess, you guys. You can also use this as a highlighter if you want. So, you know, if you like really like that like light, those shiny spots and get all whatever, you can do that with the Diamond Dust. For me, I just kind of use it on top, almost like kind of to set your makeup. It has oil absorbers in it. And so I just take just hardly any and just kind of go over my face. And it's weird because it's like when you first look, you can see a little bit of the shimmer, glimmer on your face. However, again, give it like 20 or 30 minutes and it like all blends into your skin and you're like, where did that go? Your skin just looks like it has this really nice glow to it. So I really love the veil. Another way I've heard of people using it is because it does have a lot of great oil absorbers in it. You can use it underneath your foundation to absorb that oil and then put your foundation on top. And that is another way to wear it, just for some extra, I guess, staying power, okay? So that is what I do for my face. And now let's move to the lips. I have to tell you guys, all of these colors are so incredibly multi-purpose. There's 4 lipsticks and 2 lip glosses. And there's not one that I don't like. And I've tried a bunch of different combos and they look so nice. So today, my new favorite combo that I just discovered is the Wish lipsticks. I'm gonna just put this on, nothing fancy or special to it. Okay, just put the Wish lip gloss on, and then I'm gonna use the Abundant Gloss. So put this on top. Now, if you do gloss, remember the same principle applies. The part that you want to look more plump, like put that on there. So that's why you see a lot of people putting it on their bottom lip, kind of this top bow, okay? And another tip, I see this all the time. When you put it on, don't like do this with your lips because it will start getting outside all these lines and it will look a little bit sloppy. So when you want to like push together, just kind of do one of those, okay? And your lips will stay in place a lot better. And then this is just my own personal tip, again, for my makeup fiending, I don't know what else to call it. I use a lip liner around the edges after I put on my lips. And this helps everything. You'll see it's a little bit darker. So this is from Honeybee Gardens and it's called Perfection. It's only like $9, which is really good for a clean lip liner. You can get it from Target or Amazon or wherever. And you're just gonna, you'll see. If I do half, I'll show you. Trace outside this line. Can you tell the difference? And it just like gives it a little bit of definition. And then also it helps it stay on a little bit longer. So that's kind of my tip. Another shade that I like to use is a Jane Iredale, which is clean as well, and it's called Spice, and I like to use that one too. It's more of like a neutral lip color. These glosses are fantastic, you guys. If you don't have them, they feel like lip balm on your lips. You know how a lot of times glosses can be really sticky? These feel like lip balm. They're so nice. They're really nice. You can wear them by themselves. You don't have to have a full-on lip like this. I'm just showing you because I'm doing a whole tutorial, but they feel really nice on your lips. You can add them with your lip liner. You can just wear them plain. It's pretty simple. So at this point, all that's left for you to do, if you need to do your eyelashes, you curl them with your curler, put some mascara on, and you should be good to go. So I know this took a little while. Do you guys have any specific questions? I hope this was helpful in some way to you. But I have to tell you guys, like I said, after being a makeup junkie, I was really worried I wasn't gonna like this, and I love this makeup, and it stays on all day long. Like, I don't have to repowder, I don't have to do anything special. So anyways, all right, you guys, I hope that was somewhat helpful. Thank you for joining me and watching. If you think of questions, post them, and I will definitely come back and answer them as best I can. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.